States and Canada, the United Kingdom, wherever you may be, a special good evening to you. I'm Mark Brantley, and I'm here with another edition of On the Mark, straight talk across the Narrows. We're here every Wednesday from 8 to 10, and of course we use only the best, and the best is VON Radio, the voice of Nevis, the Eastern Caribbean's only powerhouse. VON Radio, www.vonradio.com, or 860 on your AM dial. We are here, and we every week bring what we think would be of some interest to the public. Members of the public are free to call in when we open the lines and share their own views and opinion. Of course, we're in the middle of Culturama. Culturama. Everybody's talking about Culturama. It's Culturama 45. And we have our second homecoming celebration where we're inviting divisions wherever they are. Those in St. Kitts, those in St. Martin, those in the USVI and BVI, those in Puerto Rico, the United States, Canada, wherever you are, we're saying come home for Culturama, have your family reunions, and let's have a huge Nivision party. We have probably more Nivisians living in St. Kitts than live in Nevis. So if they all come up, and all of those that are elsewhere come home, I think we'll have a grand time. So we're inviting one and all to Culturama. We're inviting the families to come have their reunions. I, for my part, love to see when they have the T-shirts, the Libert family, the Williams family, as the case may be, and we certainly invite people to do that. This is the second time that we're doing the homecoming. We had the first one, which coincided with the 40th year of Culturama, and we're now having the second one coincided with the 45th year of Culturama. 45 years for Culturama from whence it started, way back when with NIDAX. It has come all this way now, and I believe last week the Minister of Culture, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, was able to chair this program and host this program. In my absence, I want to thank him, and I'm told he had a wonderful time with various Calypsonians releasing and the like. Well, tonight is going to be no different. We have in the studio with us some of our finest, and they've come because they say that they have brand new tracks that they want to release. There is no Culturama without Kaiso. Kaiso continues to be the backbone of what we do, and the Calypsonians are messengers. They're poets. They're sometimes even prophets. They come and they tell you what has happened. They sometimes predict what will happen. I know that I think it's crazy in Trinidad sing a song about in time to come. So sometimes the fellas tell you what has happened, they comment on what is happening, and they even predict what might happen. So Calypsonians are a critical part. They're the ones who are the storytellers, and I think all of us have a favorite Calypsonian, all of us have a favorite Calypso. I know one man in the studio with me right now. Whenever I see him, I say, "You Make Me Blue," because that is a classic song that he did, "You Make Me Blue." So I speak of none other than the one, Jojo, who's here. Jojo has been a man in the arena for a long time. He has not always been there every year, but this year he tells me that he's back. Jojo, welcome to On the Mark.
Thank you, Mac. And I'm going to say to all my friends them that I'm here and with something reasonable. And if you say better than reasonable, it's so great. You know?
Well, Jojo, how long have you been in this Calypso thing now?
Yeah, my first song, you know, the first year, 1976.
76?
Yeah, but in and out, you know.
So you competed for the first time in 1976?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I sang a little simple song, right? But it went far. I make second runner-up, and from there, maybe finalist while I'm singing and everything. So
okay.
What the song was, Uncle Benji, a little sweet, little, you know.
All right, so you have been in the final three?
Yes, okay. While I'm taking part, I always reach the
finals?
Yeah, the finals. But
okay, the top three. King, first runner-up, second runner-up.
One time.
One time, and you've never been crowned?
No.
So you need to work towards the crown?
That's right.
All right, good. So Jojo, you're here with us on the Mark. It's a big platform. All around the world, people tune in every Wednesday. And I think it's a great platform for people to hear for the first time what you have to offer. So what are the songs that you have to offer tonight?
To my fans out there, my two songs are Rogue Policeman and One Cylinder.
One cylinder?
One cylinder.
Well, that look like a slow car, motorcycle, just one cylinder. Okay, so which one are we going to do first?
Rogue Policeman.
Rogue Policeman. DJ, we have that queued up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, all of you who are tuned into On the Mark, here is the man Jojo, Mighty Jojo. That's the Calypso name. Yeah. And he has something called Rogue Policeman, a brand new track that he's doing for Culturama 45. Let's take a listen.
policeman. So please try and understand. I'm bringing shame to the land. Aye. Oi. Aye, aye. Let me tell you. Somebody call the station and say they shall get robbed. If man involved, I tell myself, boy, that's a risky job. I do all I can and all I can to ensure a delay. By the time we reach to the crime scene, them crooks don't run away. But I don't have to worry, because to tell you the truth, I don't know where them fellas gone to court and share the loot. But it's my collusion why think I could thief and get away. So now I got to collect my share and I'll last out today. I am a rogue policeman, a rogue policeman. Your Honor, hear my confession. I am a rogue policeman, a rogue policeman. So please try and understand. I'm bringing shame to the land. Aye, aye. Let me tell you. Aye. Aye, aye. I just do my share of locking up and show off with me gun. I just box up out and bust up head because them thing is fun. Them youths I get with ganja. With me have no problem. Just show me the bigger boss who's selling it to them. And when I meet the Dan, it ain't no turning back. For us, Marcy, we would agree to have a little contract. While we your spy on the inside, just tell me what is you. They would never get you in the raid because I'm on for warning you. I am a rogue policeman, a rogue policeman. Your Honor, hear my confession. I am a rogue policeman, a rogue policeman. So please try and understand. I'm bringing shame to the land. Aye. And let me tell you. Some brothers in the police force now look at me with scorn, but I was never the one to fear. Since the day I born, they live a life that is pure. They never take shortcut. Some would like to like me, but they just don't have the guts. They doing good and I doing bad. I am the happier man. Just grunting while I'm hustling and swinging like Tarzan. For win a fight between good and evil, evil always win. Human beings always profit more from a life that's full of sin. I am a rogue policeman, a rogue policeman. Your Honor, hear my confession. I am a rogue policeman, a rogue policeman. So please try and understand. I'm waiting for conviction.
That's the man, mighty Jojo, rogue policeman. Jojo, what would have been the inspiration behind that particular song?
Yes, yeah. Home by me, I watch TV so much and watch those movies and so with police, you know, and the mix up with some of the things. So I said I can come out.
So it's not
I wouldn't like that to happen
here.
In here, you
so
know.
it's not a commentary on what you think is happening here.
No,
it's what
you know, just I see it on TV and see how they, you know, you have they mix with, you know, England. So me say, I'm gonna sing that, but I hope no one mad on me, you know. for
Well,
that,
I
but, you
mean,
know, so.
but as a Calypsonian, it's your job to comment. And clearly, the police are from time to time coming for some blows here as well. And so I think the notion of rogue policemen, I think people sometimes forget that policemen and women are people too, just like you and I.
That's
And
right.
just like you and I have our failures and frailties, they have theirs as well. And so oftentimes people do find themselves in situations where they shouldn't be. And the police are no exception. So it's an interesting song. It's an interesting song indeed. And I think there's a certain wittiness about it in terms of how it's put over. A rogue policeman, you say, the shop get robbed and they show up after the criminals have left.
Yes, he do all he can to delay. Then he go get his shit. You know?
All right, this Mighty Jojo, Culturama 45 is really, really going to be something special. Mighty Jojo is with us in the studio, and he just released a big tune, I think, a witty song, Rogue Policeman. Jojo, you say you have a second song for us, so tell us what is that second tune?
One cylinder.
One, and what kind of song is this?
It's a road match. One for the road, for the long jam, you know, from country to town.
Uh-huh.
So I don't want no 2-cylinder, 4, not 6 on the road, not 8-cylinder. Just 1 cylinder. Then you have a good band. You have a better job.
One cylinder.
One
Okay.
cylinder.
One cylinder from the Mighty Jojo. DJ, cue it up and let the world hear the song for the first time. Jojo, One Cylinder, brand new for Culturama 45.
John, answer the phone, man. This is Juve. Walk with you, we get through. You know, it's a drama. I get the urge for this culture, my sweetheart encourage me. He said, let's go to the long jam master, we're in the country. At my age, frustration start, I had a little doubt. The bandman said, give me, give me, give me. This slogan you're talking about, the ballin'.
One cylinder,
What you say, what you say, what you say?
one cylinder,
Again, again, again.
one cylinder,
They call me the long jam master.
one cylinder,
Woman pushing back, but they love the pressure.
one cylinder,
Enjoy the super jammer.
one cylinder,
That's why I am the long jam master. So I talk to the commissioner, he really working with me. Just woman and a 1 cylinder for this anniversary. No 4, 6, 8 cylinder and the road put you red. It just only 1 cylinder. Everything go let the ball in.
one cylinder,
What you say? What you say? What you say?
one cylinder,
Again, again, again.
one cylinder,
They call me the long jam master.
one cylinder,
Woman pushing back, but they love the pressure.
one cylinder,
Enjoy the super jammer.
one cylinder,
That's why I am the long jam master. Ah. Wait, wait. Come on, give me. Ah. Good. Right. Good. 45 years of Culturama is the first long time for me. People found all over, making themselves merry. With love, passion and pride, this slogan is here for we. Say, come on, join with me. Let jam is our legacy. The ball in.
one cylinder,
What you say? What you say? What you say?
one cylinder,
Again, again, again.
one cylinder,
They call me the long jam master.
one cylinder,
Woman pushing back, but they love the pressure.
one cylinder,
Enjoy the super jammer.
one cylinder,
That's why I am the long jam master. by the fire station, you think I make a joke. When I look at my cylinder, we started to smoke. Fireman, bring the hose quickly and start to pour water. I beg you, cool me down. I'm a long time champion. The ball in.
One cylinder,
What you say, honey, you believe me?
one cylinder,
Again.
one cylinder,
They call me the long time master.
one cylinder,
Woman pushing back, but I love the pressure.
one cylinder,
Enjoy the super jammer.
one cylinder.
That's why I am the long time master. Come on, give me. Good. Alright.
One cylinder. There you have it. Not 2 cylinder, not 6 cylinder. Just one. So you're the long jam master.
That's the control the road. It's supposed to be on the road.
All right,
But
all right.
Juve.
Okay, so this is the mighty Jojo. He gave us two songs tonight, Rogue Policeman and One Cylinder. Something jumpy. It seems to me that that's a catchy song. It's simple. The notion of one cylinder, long jam master, I think that should be very interesting, Jojo. And to
right.
see that on the road.
Yeah, that's right.
And you seem to have some, is it pan I'm hearing in this song?
Yes.
All right. So if
But,
there any,
for years, I run the pan, so,
right. You play pan as well?
Of course. yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Now, lyrically, you wrote your own lyrics and thing for this song?
Yeah, but for the road policeman,
Yes.
I get some help.
Some help with that,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And in terms of your music, who does?
No, me.
You deal with the music?
With the guy West, I went by him, but I gave him my stuff. And,
Okay.
And he worked with me, and he had so it come out good to me. I would tell him thank you very much, and I would continue work with you, West, if you're listening.
Okay, good. All right, well, any last word for your fans? They've heard you. You have 2
Yes.
songs. These are going to be your competition songs?
Yes.
You're in the race this year.
Suppose because I have to perform, because you got to start from like kindergarten. Now I got back to kindergarten,
All
So
right.
you got to move.
All right, good. All right, mighty Jojo.
Yeah. So to my fans them out there, I don't often there, but while I'm here back, so you all would enjoy me for the 45th anniversary. You're gonna get some good music and you hear it. So while you continue to listen to Van and you hear it more, then you get especially the long jump. Cause I know nobody ever sing about the long jump yet. They only dance it, but they don't give you an idea about it.
And even so, they don't do it with one cylinder.
No, they always have a vehicle between when they're jamming.
All right, the mighty Jojo. He was here. He has put down 2 big tunes tonight, Rogue Policeman and One Cylinder. Jojo, thank you for passing through. We're very, very happy to have you, and I'm sure your fans are happy.
And thanks to you, Mark, to have me on your show, right? It's great. So I know a lot of people hear me tonight, and I hope they enjoy my 2 selections.
Okay, good. Thank you, brother. All right. God bless you. All the very best. Okay, that was mighty Jojo, ladies and gentlemen. Hot off the press. Big from the studio. He said he did it with Wes, and he has 2 beautiful songs, Road Policeman and One Cylinder. Thank you very much, Jojo. All the very best. It looks like it's going to be a very, very good Culturama. And Jojo has left the chair, and he has other things to do. We have, still on the Culturama tip, we have someone who is no stranger to On The Mark, no stranger to Von Radio, and he's here tonight to share with us what he's offering for Culturama and to get a sense from him. He's always, of course, supremely confident, one of the masters of Kaiso that we have not only in Nevis, but I would say in St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean, a man who has really been a master of this art form and has made it his own. 45 years of Culturama, and he's been there for the entire period, and that, I think, on its own is exceptional. He has the record of having performed in every single Culturama since except one since its inception. So 44 years he has been a Calypsonian for consistency, and he has been there and thereabouts. I speak of no other than Keith King This and That Scarborough, MBE, who got an MBE for his contribution to culture, and specifically the Kaiso art form that he has really made his own for all these years. King This and That, welcome to On The Mark.
Well, thank you very much, Mark, and let me say good evening to all those who are listening in Radio Land. I know whenever I come to release each year, the whole nation is locked on to VON Radio to hear what it is the king has to offer. So they're listening. The fans and the critics alike, and I especially love the critics.
Well, let me ask you. You have been at this, you say, for 44 years. That's a very long time. Most careers don't last anything close to 44 years. And what gives you, I'm curious, the motivation to do this year after year? It can't be easy. You have the critics out there, of course. You have people say all kinds of things. Oh, you sing that song already. They hear that song. That that will come. What really gives you that motivation to come year after year?
It's simple. I said it every year that I come here, which is the love for Calypso is the one that drives you to do this continuously. And
Go ahead.
yeah, I continue to do it because, like I said, I love it. And then, of course, the critics has inspired me most because, they are determined to see the king fall, and the king is equally determined not to give them that joy. So I keep going at it. But really, it's the love for it. You have to have a real love for anything you do for such a long period. So I look forward to doing it every year, and I have a good time doing it.
And in terms of the creativity and the creative juices, for example, I have heard of something that they call writer's block, where they say, well, even the best writers, after a while, they just can't seem to be producing anything. They have a blank page in front of them, and they just can't seem to get it done. But you seem to have consistently been able to produce something for Culturama.
I refer to it as my factory. I have a factory that dishes out songs. No, but in terms of the block, sometimes you will meet a blockage when you're writing a song. The best thing to do is just discard it. If you're having difficulty writing it, then you're going to have difficulty singing it. So once I start writing a song and you put a blockage to choose your word, you just drop it. But I have been blessed with the ability to write and compose and arrange and perform it and sing it as well. So I don't have too much of a problem when I'm, writing songs.
So you write your own lyrics?
I write your own lyrics, compose it, arrange it, perform it, and sing it.
So who does the music?
The last 8 years I've been doing it with my good friend Abonati.
Abonati. Yeah. Okay, so you worked with him for the last 8 years. All right. So tonight you've come to On The Mark to do a release. You're releasing 2 songs or just one?
Just one. They can't take two.
They can't take two. Okay, well, I hear you. Okay. Well, tell us a bit about the song.
This one, I figure we are celebrating a big anniversary. And I figure that I will go towards that trend of celebrating the big anniversary. And this one is entitled Hip Hip. It speaks for itself. Hip Hip. That's the name of the song. And I'm sure when you hear it, you will tell me what you think. And of course, the supporters and the critics as well, at the end of it, is going to tell me how they feel about the song.
Okay, Mr. DJ, we have Hip Hip queued up. This is King This and That, brand new for Culturama 45. Let's give it a listen.
It's love, passion, pride. Culturama 45. It's the king. In the burning sun, in the night, in the rain, the vision celebrating.
45 years of Culturama.
This grand occasion, shining bright again and again, a real cultural awakening.
45 years of Culturama.
Fet mass and folklore, revelers ball encore, encore.
45 years of Culturama.
The greatest summer festival in the world. You don't want to miss this bacchanal at all. From night till morning, it's fet we fetting. Big jam session with music can done. Yeah. This festival like it having sweetness. That is the cry coming from a tourist. The mass and folklore that she witnessed. Such cultural flavor only in Nevis. Rejuvenate our flavor. The long jam is super. And then on parade day, we culture on display. This cultural fete have a reputation. It gives you joy and inspiration. Tooth Moon and Sam join the celebration. 40
satisfaction. Come on,
3 cheers to Little Nevis.
I say come on.
Celebrate this cultural sweetness.
Hip hip
Hip hip,
hip hip.
hooray, yeah.
From country to tongue, old and young, with the same sentiments and singing.
45 years of Culturama.
Like the atmosphere, interfere with the brain, cause that is all I hear.
45 years of Culturama.
With the word spreading, temperature rising for sure.
45 years of Culturama.
Tourists come my land and see and hear. Kittitions coming, so you better prepare. For saints and sinners, real party lovers, they're in a frenzy. This anniversary, yeah, 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 yeah. This festival like it having sweetness. That is the cry coming from a tourist. The mass and folklore that she witnessed. Such cultural flavor only when need this. With you got flavor, the long jam is super. And then on parade, we culture on display. This cultural fete have a reputation. It gives you joy and inspiration. Tout Moon and Sam join the celebration. 45 years of real satisfaction. Come on,
3 cheers to Little Nevis.
I say come on.
Celebrate this cultural sweetness.
Hip hip
Hip hip,
hip hip.
hooray, yeah.
With so much action happening in the land, masqueraders chanting.
45 years of Culturama.
Big traffic jam on the streets in the band. The troops and bands parading.
45 years of Culturama.
Juve and last lap, we going non-stop and more.
45 years of Culturama.
I don't tell the police already to make sure this festival is run peacefully like before. The world is watching how we behaving, so take it easy. This anniversary, yeah, 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 yeah. This festival like it having sweetness. That is the cry coming from a tourist. The mass and folklore that she witnessed. Such cultural flavor only when need this. With you got flavor, the long jam is super. And then on parade, we culture on display. This festival have a reputation. It gives you joy and inspiration. Tout Moon and Sam join the celebration. 45 years of real satisfaction. Come on,
3 cheers to Little Nevis.
I say come on.
Celebrate this cultural sweetness.
Hip hip
Hip hip,
hip hip
hooray, yeah.
hip
Hip hip,
hip hip.
hooray, yeah.
3 cheers for the world's greatest summer festival. Nevis Culturama. It's love, passion, pride.
That is King This and That, brand new for Culture Armor 45. Hip hip. It looks like we have a monster jam. In fact, I am here looking at my phone, and the one and only Dr. Packer send me a message. He said, yes, the real boss. Hear music. King again, king again. I told him to call him, but he said he's still at work. That
Still at
means
work.
he's on the road. So at least one of your fans, King, has already anointed you, King, just from the one song. Hip
Just
hip.
from the one song, hip hip.
So you're only going to do one song this year. You don't need to bother do two.
I don't think so.
King This and That is right here in the studio with us. We're going to open the phone lines because we had Jojo a little earlier who did Rogue Policeman and One Cylinder. And now we have King This and That releasing just one song so far.
On
Hip
8
hip.
cylinders.
He said you're on 8 cylinders.
8 cylinders.
8 cylinders. Jojo say jamming on 1. You have 8. So this is going to be interesting. The numbers to call are 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. We are in Culture Armor mode, and I decided for the early part of the show, we will certainly hear what Jojo, a veteran in the arena, and King This and That, also a veteran in the arena, what they had to offer for Culture Armor 45. I think what I'm hearing, the standard is very, very good. Good quality calypso. Hip hip seems to me, on the first listen, to be a monster jam. And I certainly think that Jojo has something that he's onto something with the songs Rogue Policeman. I notice he quickly said it come from television. He's not speaking about any police locally. And he doesn't want to offend anybody. And then, of course, One Cylinder, which he says is a long jam song. So I think there's a lot of excitement in the studio, a lot of excitement going to be on the road, a lot of excitement is going to be in the complex. And we are saying one and all. Packer is sending messages. I hope he has ready as his flight book.
I hope you don't boot up the
No,
boot.
no, he never boot
Okay,
up. But
okay,
I mean,
okay.
the only place he don't boot up is when he don't book the flight. You know, he's a fellow who like to bet and bet. So, Dr. Packer, drive safely. And we're glad you're listening to Von Radio. One of our guys there. You know, I say to people all the time, I have the utmost respect for Dr. Packer. He's the only man who did the long jam in a pair of boxer shorts. No, nothing else. So I think that is a very interesting feat that he achieved. That is my brother from long time, Mama Cooley's son. And he said, King, that what you have, the one song is enough. So Dr. Packer is out there. If there anybody out there who wants to call again, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. Tell us what you think about the song so far, how you're feeling about Culture Armor, the Culture Armor line up, the calendar of events. We're really trying to do it big for Culture Armor 45 and our second homecoming celebration. We're hoping to see divisions and kitchens and tourists alike come from all over neighboring islands. We want to see you come home. Those in Saba and Statia, Antigua, and places like those. Montserrat, please come home to Nevis. Come and see what we have to offer. Culture Armor is into its 45th year, and that says a lot. As you say in the song, 3 cheers, hip hip hooray for Culture Armor. I think that this is really a phenomenal achievement. And many like yourself, King, we have to give the props because you have been there for 44 years consistently. You know, some people enter and drop out, they start again, but every year you have come, win, lose, or draw, you have come.
Sure.
And that I think is important. Tell us in terms of the record, how many crowns, how many times you've been in the top 3 in the winner's circle. You have those stats.
Yes. I came second runner-up on 8 occasions. I came first runner-up on 13 occasions, and I came Calypso King 12 times.
Well, wonderful achievement. So that's 12 and 13, that's 25 and 8.
33.
33 out of the 44 years you have been in the running.
Yep.
Well, I think that speaks for itself. Let's go to the phones. We have some callers. Let's see what the callers think. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Yes, good evening. I wonder if the car listening the water thing where they're going to bring the whole school. I understand on the radio, right, that they're going to get your name in the article, in newspaper. So you keep up with that.
All right, my dear.
You know why them stay in your country, because when they come in out of the country, they want to rule out and treat them like a dog. So you must know and keep your head above water.
All right, my dear.
Good evening. I'm trying to listen to Patrice and Timothy now at the health center in Newton.
Okay. All right, my dear. Thank you very much for that. And I don't know. They say my name is in an article. But I think you give good advice. Keep yourself out of trouble. Keep your head above water. Underwater, you don't have no gills. And if you don't have gills, you can't breathe underwater, right? That's why God make fish with gills, you know. Humans have lungs. So I think that's good advice. We're here with King. This and That. We earlier had with us the mighty Jojo. And Jojo released 2 songs I think will have some airplay and I think some popularity. Rogue Policeman and the other tune that he released was One Cylinder. And King This and That has just released, I believe, a monster jam. This song, Hip Hip. So let us go back to the phones and see. No, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700.
And let me use the opportunity.
Okay,
Mark,
here let's just before hold that thought, King. Let's see who's on the line. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Brantley. You
Good
don't
evening.
even have to guess who is on the line. It's the number 1 fan, of course, Gail.
How are you
And
doing?
guess what? I'm very good. I'm very good. I love the song. It's jumpy, it's different, and you touch almost all the aspect of Culturama. I love that.
Sure,
And
thank
just
you.
in case you need any backup dancers, I'm there. I'm ready. I'm ready.
What is this? This
One
really
love, brother. One love. One
It's,
love.
it's really going to be a good culture, Amma. All right, Gail. Good to hear from you. All right, King. What do you say?
Now, I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to those who would have contributed to my production this year. And of course, there are persons who don't want the name called, so they know who they are. I just want to say thank you. And of course, working with Abonati over the last 8 years, we have developed a sort of musical relationship where he know what I'm about, and he understands very well. And I think we've been going from strength to strength, as a team, we're doing this recording and so forth. And of course, those who keep encouraging me, not that I need encouragement, because without that encouragement, I will continue to, carry on. I want to thank those as well for their kind words and their encouragement, of course, to continue doing what I'm doing. So the critics, the King is coming in July with the other one.
All right.
But,
All right. Your King, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for choosing On The Mark to release this song. I think this is a big night for Calypso, a big night in Nevis. I think that fellas are out there, and I'll say so publicly. The fellas haven't heard this one. I know some fellas going to be a little uncomfortable. I think that is going to be. I went into a store just anecdotally. I told my wife, I said I have to find a way to share this On The Mark. I went into a clothing store in America recently, and I put on a suit, and this black fella was a salesman, and he said, "My brother, when you wear that suit, you're going to hurt some feelings." and I just feel that this song going to hurt some feelings.
I know.
So, King, this and that, thank you for passing through.
Thank you very much for
Eh?
giving me the opportunity
Yes, man.
to release On The Mark again.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Take care and have a good night. That was King This and That, ladies and gentlemen, with a big song, Hip Hip. And earlier we had the man that we call Mighty Jojo, who did 2 wonderful songs for us. The first one he called Rogue Policeman, and the second one he called, of course, One Cylinder. Very interesting song. Jojo seems to be saying for all the fellas like he and me is 1 cylinder coming down the road for the long jam. Just one. Not more than one, just one. And I think that is rather interesting. I have a special note at this point. Oftentimes you hear a lot of critics and a lot of criticism, and that is perhaps to be expected. We live in a democracy, and democracy can sometimes be robust to the point where it gets messy, and people, of course, have an opinion, and with the benefit of social media and otherwise, they are unbridled in their expression of their opinion, and that is as it should be. That is, in fact, something that we ought to encourage rather than discourage. What we have to learn, however, is to focus and to sometimes filter out the noise, because we recognize sometimes there's a lot of noise, a lot of what I call heat, but very little light. That happens all the time, and everybody becomes an expert overnight because they have an instrument, a telephone in their hand that they can write on social media. And so we get a lot of people who are maligned, and one of the departments or organizations, ministries that has come in for a lot of attacks here in the country has been the Ministry of Health. The hospital in particular has come in for attacks, unwarranted, because as Minister of Health for some years now, I know the effort that is put in, the nurses, the doctors, and they don't always get it right. None of us do. But sometimes I think the sound and fury that accompanies what they do is difficult for them and demotivates them. And so I was so happy tonight to get a message from someone who said they do not wish to be publicly identified, but they wanted me to big up, in their words, Assistant Matron Gwyneth Jones of the Alexandra Hospital for, and I quote, exceptional, superior, and absolutely phenomenal patient care rendered to that person. Let me say it again. The person wants me to big up Assistant Matron Gwyneth Jones of the Alexandra Hospital for, and I quote, exceptional, superior, and absolutely phenomenal patient care rendered to him. He goes on to say she displayed a high standard of nursing that deserves to be commended. And I feel very happy to say that on the air. And Nurse Jones, wherever you are, you know I love you. You know you have always done a wonderful job. And all of Nevis loves you. And this patient wants you to know that he sincerely appreciated your professionalism and the phenomenal care that you offered to him when he was recently at the hospital. I think that that's important, that we say these things publicly, and that members of the public are free to say these things, to recognize, of course, those who contribute and contribute so significantly. And so we say thank you for that. Now, it is about quarter to the hour of 9 o'clock. We're here from 8 to 10, and so we have another hour and 15 minutes or so. I'm going to open the lines in a little bit. I'd opened them previously so we could hear from King This and That and Mighty Jojo, who came to release some songs for Culturama 45. But I just wanted to share some information and then open the lines again. One of the things I wanted to share is that the church ground community have created, I think, a program of events captioned Celebrating the Life of a Great Man. And they're seeking to have a week of activities to celebrate the life of the late Malcolm Gishard. And those activities start with a church service on the 9th of June. And that church service will be at the St. John's Anglican Church on June 9th. I think this service is at 7 in the morning. And then on Sunday the 9th of June, they have basketball at the church on Hard Court at 7 p.m. Now you may ask, what is so special? Well, the special thing is that I, Mark Anthony Graham Brantley, will be playing basketball competitively on Sunday the 9th of June 2019 at the church ground basketball court. I can't promise I will last the whole time, but I can promise that I will be there. The only problem that I have is that the fellas are saying they must play full court basketball. And I'm not sure I can manage full court. So I've been begging them to play half court, 3-on-3. And if they do that, well, I think that I could be there. I still believe I could take 1 or 2 rebounds. And I still believe I can post up in the paint and do my little hook shot and try to make a point or two. So Sunday, some of us, I will be there. I'm trying to encourage Honorable Troy Liebert. He likes to say that he was a great basketballer, and encourage him. He has been on a good fitness regimen. Poor me, I haven't been doing much of that, so I need to get out and get ready between now and the 9th of June for basketball at church ground. So that is going to be a real fun event. Hard court, right there in church ground basketball on Sunday, June 9th. So we start Sunday 9th June in the morning, 7 a.m., church service at the St. John's Anglican Church. And then we go on the evening, we have fun basketball right there on the hard court at church ground. On Tuesday, the 11th of June, they're going to do the morning inspiration with Von Radio at 6 a.m. Tuesday, the same 11th of June, we will have the memorial service, which we do each year for Gish, at the burial ground, and that will be at 9:30 a.m. right there at the burial ground, at Britannica as we call it. All are invited to be a part of that. We tend to go and we tend to sing a few songs and just reminisce and remember the contribution of Malcolm Gishard. On Wednesday, the 12th of June, we have a special On The Mark show, and what we want to do with that show is to have some people in the studio with us, but also to encourage people to call in with anecdotes or memories of Malcolm Gishard. Basically, we want to dedicate the show to Gish. And so people out there who have a special memory, a fun memory, to call in and speak about Gish. Then Thursday, we have a health talk, and they're going to deal with non-communicable diseases, a very important topic. That's the Thursday, the 13th of June. And then that same Thursday, we have the unveiling of the portrait of Malcolm Gishard in church ground. And so we're having the portrait that is there at the top of church ground redone. And we have commissioned an artist to do that, and we hope to have that ready. So we'll unveil that on the 13th of June, 2019. And then on Saturday, the 15th of June, they are going to have a cleanup in church ground and the surrounding areas of St. John's, starting at 6 a.m. All again are invited to come out and be a part of that cleanup. And then Saturday, the 15th of June, there will be a fun day starting at 6 p.m. We'll have some food, drink, and some music, of course, and we have what we call a fun day of togetherness. And you know, I've been practicing my cooking skills, and I've already asked my good friend Babel to make sure that he gives me an apprentice position on the grill. So I'll be making 2 appearances, 1 on the basketball court and 2 on the grill. And I'm telling you, it will be something, because I haven't dunked a ball in a long time. I believe I should try and get some of those, you know, those shoes with some extra pep in them, so that when I bounce on them, you know, it bounces me up to the rim and I could do what I need to do. But basketball is going to be interesting. And then, of course, we're going to have the cooking that's going to happen, and the fun day. That's the final day, and that will be on the Saturday. And we look forward to that. So a full week of activities. Let me just again, for those who might have just tuned in, run through. On Sunday the 9th of June, we have a church service at the St. John's Anglican Church starting at 7 a.m. That evening, Sunday the 9th of June, we have fun basketball at the church ground hard court, and I hope that we make a team and be a part of that. I'm encouraging other ministers to be a part. In fact, anyone who wants to be a part should come forward. And then on Tuesday the 11th of June, we have morning inspiration at 6 a.m. at Vaughan. Tuesday the 11th of June, we commemorate the sad passing of Malcolm at the burial ground at 9:30 a.m. Again, all are asked to come and be a part of that. On Wednesday the 12th of June, we have On the Mark, a special edition of the show dedicated to Gish. We're asking people to call in with any anecdote or memory they have of Gish, and we have asking Vaughan Radio to go through their archives so we can find a few speeches that Gish would have made and remind, of course, the public of the voice of this man who has contributed so much to the island of Nevis and the wider Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. On Thursday the 13th June, there's a health talk. And then on Thursday the 13th of June, same day, we have the unveiling of the portrait of Malcolm Gishard at the top of church ground. Sunday the 15th of June, they have a church ground and St. John's cleanup starting at 6 a.m. And then that evening, we close it off with a massive fun day and togetherness starting at 6 p.m. where, if they allow me, I hope to be on the grill and being a part of a wonderful time right there at church ground and in the wider St. John's for the Honorable Malcolm Gishard. We will never forget Gish and his contribution, and we will continue to work towards remembering him and commemorating the life and times and the immense contribution that he has made to St. Kitts and Nevis, but more specifically to the island of Nevis, and more specifically than that, to the constituency of St. John's and the wider Nevis 9 that he lived in, that he loved, and that he built from the ground up and contributed so much. So Gish, we miss you, and we will have a week of activities to commemorate all that you have done and all that continues to live on long after you have gone. Gish, my good friend Doc, if he's listening, Yvonne, if she's listening, the children, if they're listening, I think that this is a wonderful gesture from the community to Malcolm, and I'm happy that I could be a part of it. And I want to congratulate the organizers, the whole church ground community who have come together and said that they and the wider St. John's want to do this for Malcolm. So we thank them, and we look forward, certainly, and we hope that one and all will come out to the church service starting on Sunday the 9th and continuing thereafter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is On the Mark. It is just about 8 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock, and you're going to be stuck with me for another hour and a little bit, and we're going to have a conversation about many things going back and forth. I want to take an opportunity to, on a personal matter, to congratulate my daughter, Gabriella Brantley. She has just graduated from her boarding school in the United Kingdom, and I was very, very touched, honored, blessed to have been able to go to be at her final ceremony at her boarding school. It was significant not only because she was graduating, it was also significant because she had become the head girl at the school, which I think I like to put these things in perspective, because coming from a little island in Nevis and coming from our education system, where again many of the Nigerian neighbors of negativity like to malign, and seeing that that is where my daughter has never been to school anywhere else. She came through the public school system, and she was able to go to England, go and to a boarding school there in Surrey, and compete against students from all across the globe, and emerge at the very top of the pile. And to have been selected as head girl by her peers and by the administration of the school, I think that that was quite significant. The school only has a head girl and a head boy. And so I thought that was very significant. And she had her very last event, and I was blessed to have been able to go. Her mom couldn't travel, but I was able to go, and I'm thankful to Jehovah God for giving me the strength and the ability to go to see her in her final ceremony. She has done all of her final exams, and I'm exceedingly proud of her, and I wanted to say that publicly and to wish her all the very best. I'm also very proud of my other daughter, Brianna, and if I sound like I'm a proud daddy tonight, it's because I am. Brianna would today have written her final exam and on her way to obtaining her law degree, and I am exceedingly proud of her. She has worked hard, and certainly we hope and pray that she would have been successful, and so we look forward to her graduation in short order as well. And so our children, they grow up, they become their own people from very early. They're their own person. They have their own personalities. They have their own likes and dislikes, their own ambitions. And we as parents, I think, ought to encourage them. We ought to do each day our very best to encourage them, to nurture them, to take care of them, to show them love, and allow them to develop to their fullest potential. And so I'm very proud of my daughters, and I pray and hope that all of you who are listening are very proud of your children, and that you continue to nurture and help and encourage them, whatever their ages, but particularly when they're young, that you give them that love and encouragement that will allow them to blossom and really become the best adults that they can be. Is the phone ringing, I think? Okay, let me take a call then, because people are trying to get in. It's 5 minutes to 9. Let's go back to the lines. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Bradley. How are you?
Yes, good evening to you.
Yeah, to the king, only the best will do. Only the best will do. King, we don't expect no better from you, but the best. This is rougher. As for Jojo, I think he and the guy from Cottonwood, what the name, Papa Wheeler, might be in trouble because he looked like he's singing Papa Wheeler's song.
Huh?
He looked like Jojo is singing Papa Wheeler's song.
Well, that's going to be
I don't
interesting.
know if Papa Wheeler writes for him or what.
'Cause, you know, every year Papa Wheeler comes with something witty and funny.
I know.
And Jojo really, to me, that one about rogue policeman is very funny.
Exactly. And then he got this thing about one cylinder. He gonna need a water tank to follow him.
No, I think that,
cylinder gonna get.
no man, that's for fellas like me and you. At our age, only one cylinder. This and that say firing on 8 cylinders, but, you know, Jojo say he could only handle one cylinder. One jam down the long jam.
This and that. You know, this and that gonna run by himself. He ain't gonna be running another half. He gonna be way out there ahead of that. Anyhow, the king, keep up your head, man.
All right. Okay, my brother. Take care of her. All right. Well, the king has actually left, but I'm sure he's listening, and so at least we know his fans out there are responding to his song. I think it's a big song, and so we shall certainly see where that goes. We have opened the lines in case people want to call. 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. While I'm, however, talking about how proud I am, let me just say to all of Nevis, let me talk to Nevis for a minute, that we have recently had the visit, official visit, of the foreign minister of Taiwan, Minister Wu, and his wife, Madam Wu. They came and they visited the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. But I want to emphasize the Nevis part, you see, because people come to the Federation all the time, but they only see St. Kitts. They come in, of course, St. Kitts is where the capital is, Bastia, and where the seat of the federal government is. And so they engage in St. Kitts, and that is common. Very rarely do they get the opportunity to see Nevis. And Foreign Minister Wu and his wife decided that they were only going to be here for one night, but that they would spend that night in Nevis. And so they landed in St. Kitts. They had all their meetings with the Prime Minister, the governor, His Excellency, the Governor General, and then they came over to Nevis. They visited the park site at Pinnes, where they have gladly agreed to assist us with constructing of that park, one of the legacy projects and the ambitious projects that Malcolm Guichard had. It's certainly his brainchild to have that park at Pinnes. And they came and they looked at that. We already have their technical team in place to assist in executing that particular project. And so they came. We had a wonderful dinner at Montpellier, where we were able to dine in the Mille Privé, which is over 300 years old. And so that history that they were exposed to, they had a really wonderful time. I want to publicly thank the management and staff at Montpellier for an absolutely wonderful job. And what made it even better is that this young lady from Brownhill, Rhonda Thompson, she works at Montpellier part-time, and she studied in Taiwan. So she was able to converse in Mandarin with the foreign minister and his entourage. And I thought that that was very special. But not only her, we had Chanel Simmons, who works with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and who's from right here in the Beach Road area. And she too studied in Taiwan and speaks fluent Mandarin. And so she too was able to converse with the foreign minister and his entourage in their native language. But not only that, one of the police officers, my good friend, he too studied in Taiwan, and he too was able to communicate in fluent Mandarin. As a matter of fact, they said to me that they were shocked that he could even speak the dialect from Taiwan. And what that says to me, ladies and gentlemen, is the importance of diplomacy. I know that sometimes you hear the foreign minister has gone here, gone there, and Lord, he gone again, he gone to travel. That is the importance of diplomacy. That a young woman from Brownhill could be at Montpellier last night conversing with the foreign minister of Taiwan in Mandarin. That a young woman from up Beach Road could have been their guide, conversing with them in their native tongue. That a young police officer from St. Kitts could have been around them, conversing with them in their native tongue. Why? Because those people have been afforded the opportunity of studying in Taiwan at no cost to them, but on scholarship provided by the government and people of Taiwan. And I was very happy that the foreign minister not only came to the Federation, but decided that he would spend his night in Nevis, engaging with us, and we were able to show him some good Nevisian hospitality. We ended the evening with a toast using Clifton Estate rum being produced right here in Nevis, and they had a wonderful time, he and his wife. This morning, as a matter of fact, they decided that they wanted to go and see the birthplace of Alexander Hamilton, because they were not aware that Hamilton had been born here. And then they flew out to the Vance Amry Airport, and we were able to go and see them off, the Deputy Premier and myself this morning. And so I really want to thank the Taiwanese government, the Taiwanese people. I want to thank President Tsai and Foreign Minister Wu and his wife and the entire entourage. They came here, they had a wonderful time, and we are grateful. I like to say diplomacy matters, and I think Nevis and St. Kitts both are seeing the fruits of that diplomacy. We're going to take your calls. If calls come in, please just signal, and so I could take the calls. 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. Now, one of the commitments that we've had from the Taiwanese, going back, because I think the public understands my passion for training and my passion for scholarships. I myself benefited from a scholarship years ago, without which I do not know if I would ever have been able to get a tertiary education. And so scholarships, I always ask, and my staff laugh all the time, because whenever we engage with anyone who has been sent as an emissary, whether at foreign minister or ambassadorial level, to meet with me, I talk about scholarships and their availability. And that is why we've been able to get scholarships from far-flung countries, from Morocco, from Austria, from New Zealand and Australia, from Switzerland, from Mexico and Chile and all these countries. We've been able to get scholarships because I asked for scholarships. And one of the things coming out of this meeting is that the students in St. Kitts and Nevis can look forward next year for an increased number of scholarships being provided to them from the government and people of Taiwan. Let's go to the phones and take some calls and see who's on the line. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello? Hello? Okay, that caller isn't there. Callers, we're trying again. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Hey, on the mark.
Yes, hello?
What's your right? As you talking about Brown Hill, a girl from Brown Hill was to marry to a girl in St. Kitts, right? And the man went in the church and the girl not show up.
So you're calling the ear to say that for?
You know, this girl named Julie.
All right, caller, that is not a matter for public consumption. You know, if there's a situation where somebody has, as you say, not shown up, then I think that's their private matter. We'll leave that there, okay? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to On the Mark. I'm your host, Mark Brantley. And the numbers to call if you want to be a part of the show are 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. It is now 4 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock, and we go back to the phones. Good evening, you're On the Mark. Hello? Hello? Yeah, I can barely hear you, caller. I don't know why. Can you hear me? Yes, can you speak up and speak as loudly as you can? We are not hearing you properly.
Yeah, Mr. Brantley.
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, this Vaughn, man, out of St. Croix.
Yeah, how you doing, Vaughn?
Hey, cool, man. I listen to the show and I listen to Jojo and this and that song, man. They think so nice, man.
Definitely, they're getting ready for the big Culturama 45.
I know that, man. I know that. I listen to that a lot of times. Encouraging.
Well, I see a video of you the other day too, doing some dancing down in VI.
Why this now? I got put on the water now. I got plenty of them out there.
All right, my brother. All is well?
Yeah, man. Everything's going better. But I want to hear everybody go will and buy everybody demons, man. I hear my brother and keep Yaba while with them family, man.
All right. Okay, well, I know Yaba is listening to you, so you're on the hill up Yaba and the whole family. All right, Sherry and all them on the hill and everybody. You know everybody in Brownie love you.
I hear of the King Bingy, man, and not me, and they'll not see. I hear it down there at the show. He's coming around. So bless up everybody again.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right, Vaughn. The man they call Addy.
Nice.
Good to hear you.
Nice, my premier.
All right, brother. God bless. All right. People are calling in from the Virgin Islands. They're listening. And as I said, this show has a big platform. People listen far and wide. And I want to say good evening to Vaughn and the VI and all the others who are in the Virgin Islands and elsewhere. And to say a pleasant good evening to my buddy Shark and Roach, Ansa and those fellas there in St. Thomas. Good evening to all of you. Good evening to those in St. Croix as well. I know they're listening and they continue to be tuned in. Just to let them know that I'm planning a trip to come through, and so I hope to be able to come in and interact and see everybody. I haven't been there for a little while. I plan to go to St. Croix and then to pop over to St. Thomas and even St. John's perhaps. I'll see how that goes. And certainly, of course, we have to hit Tortola and see what's happening with our friends and family in Tortola as well. So we definitely hope to be there soon, and I'll have some more details of that as soon as I have them. New York as well, we hope to be there very soon with you. We're thinking 4th of July to come up and be a part of the big Hearts and Hands events there in New York for 4th of July. Hearts and Hands have a bad habit of having a big event in February, January and February, when it's the coldest time of year. I'm sure if they have that event in summer, they could count on my being there more often. But that cold time of year in January and February when they have that brunch, oh Lord, that New York winter is not nice at all. And so certainly in the summertime, you know, we look forward to the park where they go to. They have the picnic there. They have barbecue and just a nice, you know, Nivision camaraderie and Kittitians and Nivisions coming together in a really wonderful way. So we hope to be a part of that. We're making some plans and God willing, we'll certainly be able to let the divisions abroad know when we will be there and where we will be, and in an effort, of course, to interact and to give a report, because we know that what is happening here is critically important to them as well. So that is where we are and what we're seeking to do. But going back to the issue of diplomacy, I was very happy, as I say, to confirm that the number of scholarships for St. Kitts and Nevis students will be increased next year. We don't yet have the details. When I have those, I will bring them. But certainly I think that that is a good sign and a good indication that more of us would be able to access training and access scholarships in Taiwan. And I want to emphasize that those scholarships are for what I would call academic training, first degrees and masters, etc. But that has nothing to do now with other short courses that they offer, as a matter of course, in agriculture, health, etc. So the pool of people benefiting is quite large. Let's go back to the phones and take some more calls. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you.
How are you doing?
I am well, thank you.
This is Alistair. You Alistair?
Oh my goodness, my neighbor, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yes.
good. I'm very proud of Brianna and Gabby too.
Thank you,
So,
thank you.
Just as proud as you. So give my regards to them.
Yes.
And congratulations.
Yes, man, thank you so much.
All right, then. I'll say good night to Sharon.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay.
All right. Good, Alistair, good to hear your voice. I mean, this is somebody when I was a boy who used to take care of me, you know, and I'm very grateful for that. And there was just one yard separated from the next, really. And I've since left Scarborough a long time ago, but he and I have always remained close. And Alistair, I want to thank you for the call and thank you for the kind words towards my daughters. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sure they appreciate it as well. And I know that this is graduation season, so a lot of our young people will be graduating from universities all around, from high school, you name it. And I just want to commend them all. And those who are still doing exams, I want to continue to encourage them that they do their very best. Let's go back to the phones and take some more calls. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Brantley. How are you doing?
Good evening to you. I'm well, thank you.
Mr. Brantley, I voted for you to represent me in the Federal House in St. Kitts. Okay? You there?
Yes, of course, I'm listening.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I listened to the Prime Minister's press conference this morning, this afternoon, and he said over 2,000 people from the hurricane get aid for their house. Well, how is it? How much people in need get aid, Mr. Brantley?
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two, right? I find this is very strange. Over 6 months ago, the road has been doing in Brown Hill. And up to now, Mr. Brantley, why can't the road finish? One, I asked questions. They were saying it was the gut. They were waiting on the gut. But last week, they cleaned the gut again. Week before, they still cleaning. They keep cleaning the gut. And the road now do. But what I'm saying, Mr. Brantley, Brown Hill is where you grow up. So why if they leave Brown Hill, go back, go this, go there, go all over the place and leave Brown Hill? So why Brown Hill should be looking like this up to now for the past 6 months? And what really bothers me again is that, right, Arnie Stapleton, he's the PS to Mr. Brand. Have you been gone into Brown Hill? Let us drive Brown Hill very often, very often. What about Denzel Stanley? Have they been gone into Brown Hill again? I never see them as a DRO. But I would like to know what is the holding up and why Brown Hill being overlooked all the time. It makes me wonder, Mr. Brantley, is somebody sabotaging you? Remember, Brown Hill is one of your strongest holds. Have a good evening.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think you raised some interesting points. The issue of the roof repairs. Yes, the St. Kitts end has really done a lot. Thousands of people, as I say, have benefited over there. It is true that St. Kitts did suffer considerably more damage than Nevis did in that particular storm. What I can say is that the Nevis end of things has already started. Perhaps we've not made as much noise as the counterparts in St. Kitts about it, but I know that some people have already benefited and people are continuing to benefit. I do not have the numbers with me, but I do have my press conference tomorrow morning starting at 10, And I would hope that I will be able to shed a bit more light on what has been happening in Nevis in relation to that. Just to emphasize to the general public that in Nevis, we are catering for those people who suffered damage during the storm and who reported that damage to the people at disaster preparedness. We sadly have a situation where a lot of people are now coming forward and saying, oh, my roof was damaged, or my building was damaged, my house was damaged, but they never reported any damage at the time. And so that is creating for us a bit of a difficulty. So we are saying we are focused on those people and that list of persons who we have, and we will see how far we can go with that. So that is already ongoing, and I know that some people have already benefited from the program here in Nevis. As I said, I do not have all the numbers before me now, but I'll have a sense of it tomorrow. It was being done through the Honorable Eric Evelyn and his ministries. In relation to Brownhill Road, caller, I can understand the frustration that people express from time to time. But I would remind you and others that I moved to Brownhill when I was 8 years old, going on 9. I am now a man of 50. So it means that I would have had an experience in Brownhill for, let's say, over 40 years. And that road in Brownhill has not been touched in over 40 years. Indeed, I got there 41, 42 years ago, and I would dare say that it has not been touched in over 50 years. It is being touched now. And whilst we hear complaints, let us remember that the road that we're seeing runs from all the way up the hill. That road goes from all the way up by Johnny. You know Johnny Brunction? And comes down, curves around, comes all the way down the hill, comes all the way, what we call across the path, and has now reached as far as just before you get to the dump there, where you turn up to go to Bridgegut. Now the bridge is going to be a big section of road that needs to be done. But also remember, caller, that that is not all that has been done. Water has been upgraded, the lines. We have also built the bypass road that connects Cherry Garden and Prospect up to Brownhill now. That is now completed, a beautiful piece of road. We have also been erecting walls and enhancing the property values in the area in exchange for the bits of land that we might have been forced to take in the expansion of the road. To the point where somebody called me the other day and said they need to rename over there from Brownhill to Wall Street because of the walls that are there now so beautiful and in fact enhancing the property value. So I don't want it to be said or suggested because a tremendous amount of work and a certain high level of expenditure has already occurred in Brownhill. And I drive by there just like you on a regular basis and I see what the chaps are doing, and I now see that they're building out the walls coming down from there by the primary school, the Ivor Walters, coming all the way out to what we call Big Park. And I'm pretty certain that the Public Works is going to get on the actual road construction in short order. They have said the bridge is going to be a big project, and I understand that, but certainly I know that the carriageway will be dealt with shortly. So, caller, I don't have your pessimism. I believe they've done a wonderful job thus far. It may not be as fast as you and others, and certainly sometimes I myself call the minister and say what's happening, but I think on balance, the people of Brownhill have had, for the first time in most of our living memory, a representative that has said to Brownhill, we will fix this road. And when you're out there now, you know, when I was a boy in Brownhill, they used to what we call thump with toe. Not now, because the road's smooth like a baby's bottom, as my good friend Mr. Stanley, Edric W. Stanley would say. Smooth as a baby's bottom. And so, progress, improvement, not only in Brownhill, but across the length and breadth of Nevis. But I'm particularly proud of Brownhill because that will be a legacy project for me. I grew up there. I count myself as a Brownhillian. I have family there, friends there. And I'm very proud. And you know what I'm even more proud of, caller? That that road has been built by us. All them walls you see in Brownhill being put up by people in Brownhill or people associated. Local people, contractors, people in the village. Everybody has been able to get a bite out of that project. And I'm very proud of the model that we've used and the end product, because Public Works is producing some high quality work. But let it be known that the road has been done from all the way, as I said, up by Johnny Brunction, come to as far as it is now. And then we've also done that massive bypass road that takes you now all the way down to the Mondo track and beyond. So let it not be suggested that work isn't happening. Now, if the permanent secretary and assistant permanent secretary, you don't see them, well, I don't know why, because I would expect that from time to time they will go out and have a look about and see what is happening. But certainly, the Director of Public Works is the man who should be there, because he is the man who heads works. He's the man who should be there on a regular basis. And I'm happy to hear you say that you see him on a regular basis. So I continue to appeal to Brown Hillians and those using the road to be patient. But for those who can see the 3/4, 60% or so that is already done, I think that they will say that good has come from it. And as we like to say, to God be the glory, because it is a phenomenal piece of infrastructure that has come after over 50 years of nothing happening over there. You speak of Bath Village, and I'm going to defend Bath Village as if I am from Bath, because they've embraced me as one of their own. Bath has been neglected. If Brown has been neglected for 50 years, Bath has been neglected for the past 100 in terms of the road and things of that nature. Yes, we've done some housing, we've done some projects in Bath, but in terms of that roadway. And so we decided to do the first phase, and it didn't detract from Brownhill, because we're doing both at the same time. We had a crew in Bath and a crew in Brownhill. And I'm happy just tonight I was able to drive from Reliable Motors now all the way past Black Hat. And I called the minister on my way, and I said, Minister, there's some finishing up here that's still necessary. And he says he's aware, and he'll get that done. So, caller, we're doing, I believe, good work. We're asking for people's patience. But just how Rome was not built in a day, Nevis will not be built in a day either. And we have to continue to work. But when you complain and you raise the concern, I will just ask you to look at the expansive road that is already done. And look at all the walls, stone walls, concrete walls, block walls. Look at the improvement in the aesthetics and the quality and the values of people's properties in Brownhill. And then come back and tell me what your view is. It's 20 minutes past here of 9 o'clock. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Hey, hey man, that's all right. The girl.
Listen, I tell you already, don't call in talk about any girl and any nigger business and people. I know this is Culture Armor coming, but it's ain't the time and place for that, okay? We don't want any nigger business on the show, so that's why I'm asking you not to engage in that. If you have something of topical interest, something of national importance, something of importance to the island, then we talk about that. All right, my brother? Don't mean to be discourteous, but this is not the program for that, and we don't want to engage in that. Please. So let's go back to the phones and take some more calls. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Hello,
Hello?
Mr. Brantley.
Yes.
You are the premier, you are my leader, you are my representative. When are we going to have meetings and one-on-one? I'm dying to have a one-on-one, and the people are grumbled too. We need to see we leader, we representative, we premier, and a one-on-one.
Well, I'm happy that you raise it, and thank you again for the question. But I have one-on-ones every Thursday that I'm in Nevis. I have one-on-ones.
Mr. Brantley, I mean that, I mean in St. John's.
So it's not the one-on-one you want then, you want it in St. John's?
Yeah, we have to get in St. John's. St. John's belongs to you.
Okay, well...
I know you're the premier of the whole country, yes. But it's one-on-one on a Thursday, not so. I mean to say that we sit down, right? And we could dialogue like how we used to do. Election coming up now, Mr. Brantley. And we want to know where you're coming with, so we want a little idea what is going on. So you have to feed us.
Okay. Okay.
I'm thirsty.
All right, caller. I understand, and sometimes, I say to myself, I wish that cloning were where it needs to be, so that I could have 10 of me. Because I don't know that there's any politician in the history of this island who is as available as I have tried to make myself. You say
I just see you quite often, Mr. Brantley. I know that. But there's some people who don't see you.
Well, and if people are not seeing me, it is true that I'm not doing house to house. But I create forums where people can see me at their leisure. Every single Thursday that the Lord send that I'm in office, I start at 8:30 and I go until the last person has left. Sometimes I go down to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, as the case may be. My record thus far is 32 people in one day. People come in, they sit down, they have a conversation, they tell me what is going on, and I use that as a touchstone. You are right. I am not in the constituency doing it, but I create that forum and people come. Listen, I am always concerned when people in my constituency say they can't see me. You know why? The amount of St. Kitts people come to my one-on-one on a Thursday. And I said to myself, somebody gonna leave St. Kitts, take a boat, come Nevis, take taxi, come Upper Pinnies to see me on my one-on-one on Thursdays. And Nevis people, I said them can't see me. So these are some of the concerns I have because, caller, let us be practical. We can't be everywhere. And I'm not going to sit down here tonight and pretend to be Superman because I'm not. So I am saying to our people as well, if indeed you want an opportunity, call me, WhatsApp me, tell me, listen, pass by you, and I am prepared to do that. But also, where there are opportunities that are provided, and I have a structure in place now, as I say. Most people say they have constituency office and all of that. I have, since I entered government in 2013, every Thursday designated, once I'm on island, as open day, where I have one-on-ones with whoever may come. That is, you don't need to set any appointment. And it bothers me. You know why it bothers me? Because sometimes I see the same people every week. They come with a different problem. And then I hear some say, me can't see him. Me can't get a chance to see him. Well, why not when some come every week and I see them every week? I see people come here non-nationals, they come. People take the boat from St. Kitts, they come over. And our own people who are on the island and my own constituents will complain and say they can't get no chance to see me. I don't accept it. I appreciate that people want you to come to the house and sit down on the step, but that is not always possible. And so I often say, if you have something and you need some input from me, you need my assistance, you need to bring a matter to my attention, call me, WhatsApp me. I'm very accessible. My number is 869-662-6003. Never try to hide anything about what I do. I'm a public figure. Get in touch with me. But people have a tendency to sit back as if I can read their mind. And then you hear them say, oh, you now come go look for me. And I understand that people want you to come by the yard and say hello to them and whatever. And that is important. I'm not trying to downplay that. But I want also our people to understand that you've elected me to work, to do a job for you, you know, to go out and deliver. That is why I come here tonight to talk about the additional scholarships for our young people. So you call your grandchild, your great-grandchild, the other people out there who are listening might be the beneficiaries. That is me. I'm working. And yes, I cannot ignore the people who put me there to work. Nor am I doing that because I'm creating form. Which leader in the history of Nevis has ever had a monthly press conference that you can stand up and members of the press can subject that person to their cross-examination and question them on the record? You think I'm doing it because I have nothing better to do? No. I'm doing it because I think it's important that the public gets every opportunity to access information. Why do you think I'm here tonight? I mentioned my daughter Gabriella. Gabriella has just come home this evening from London. I would love to be home with her and her mom right now. But here I am on Von Radio tonight because it's Wednesday night, and Wednesday nights, while I'm able and I'm on island, I spend my time here for 2 hours that Tutmun Saman Bagay can pick up their phone and call in and ask their premier a question. They say no special show. This is me every Wednesday. So I continue to say to people, you have never had somebody as accessible as me. So when I hear the argument, I can't find you, I can't see you, I say, yes, you would like for me to pass by and come to your home and sit on the step and we have a chat, and absolutely. And there is a time for that, and when I can, I certainly promise that I will. But in the meantime, let it not be said that there are not forums available to you where you can engage with your premier, because I've created those forums. A press conference every month, a 2-hour talk show every single week that the Lord sent for 13 years now, long before I became premier. When I became premier, some people tell me, stop the show. Nobody with that, you don't got time for that now. I say, no. It's an important engagement with the public, and I will continue. And then I have my Thursday one-on-one walk-ins. What more can I do? I still have to work, you know. Because if I out there and they step them too much, people going to say, watch him. Every day, you up and down, I walk up and down the road. But when you do work, you know they like the cuss and say, I get 2 salary. But why work you doing for them 2 salary? So let us work together, but let us also understand that there's a balance, and we have to strike the balance. And people can't say they don't see me, because I am very visible, and I make myself available, and I will continue to do so, because that is how I view myself as a servant of the people. We have calls waiting. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Bradley.
Good evening to you.
Congratulations to you and your daughters.
Thank you very much, very much.
Yeah, very good. Mr. Bradley, I have a little problem with this marriage and citizenship thing. I know the Prime Minister came on and explained that they won't get this citizenship immediately. It takes time. But still, I would have let sleeping dog lie, at least at this time, until another time. You see, things going so good, the pot is boiling so good that if you put too many hands in the pot, it spoil the cooking. Things going good, you're already sure. Unity already sure at least 8 seats. Because I know Ms. Byron was going to win hands up. And with Mr. Powell, it's a 50-50. But with this thing now, this going to happen. When they go campaigning, this is going to be their number one, the song and dance. You know how this Douglas is. You're going to turn things the other way. You're going to turn things this, that his supporters would believe what he says, even though he's not telling the truth. So I would have just let sleeping dog lie until another time. I mean, this is going to cause a lot of rumors all around the place, even though the Prime Minister already explained it. But I would have let sleeping dog lie. This is going to cause a lot of noise in the campaign. You understand what I'm saying?
But the unity government has said that basically all that they're doing is seeking to allow the constitutional provisions to be applied. The government has said that they were being threatened with legal action, and they took advice, and the advice was that the waiting period of 3 years was arbitrary, it was introduced, and there was no legal basis for it. And therefore, anybody who challenged it would likely to win. We also had this situation, of course, where this provisions that are unconstitutional, as you know, are struck down as a matter of course by the courts. And so we had a situation, and it is not unique, caller. I was one when I practiced as a lawyer some years ago, made a song and dance over the HIV report, because the then government, the Labour government, had introduced a requirement that you must do an HIV test and produce an HIV report, test report, as part of your application for citizenship, even if you are applying as a constitutional right. That is, that your parent was born here, your grandparent was born here, as the case may be. The Constitution guarantees that you should get citizenship, but they had introduced these requirements, and eventually they stopped it because it too was unconstitutional. So we have a provision that has been introduced that if you're married, you must wait for 3 years. We took advice which says it is unconstitutional. What then was the government to do? Continue it? So that is really the dilemma. So I understand a lot of noise is being made. But the reality is that when the application is made now, all that we're saying is that you no longer have to wait 3 years to apply. You can apply straight after you've been married. However, that application must go through the process. The person must be vetted. You have to ensure that it's a proper marriage. It's not a sham marriage, that there's no criminality involved, etc., etc., in order for the person to qualify. So the lie that is being peddled, that you could get married today and get your passport tomorrow and divorce the third day, That is simply nonsense, because that will not be allowed to happen. But the difficulty we had was the ongoing situation where we were telling people that they have to wait 3 years. And Nevis and Singis now have more lawyers than people. So the difficulty you have is that the lawyers them are looking for work to do. And we were giving them work to do on a platter because we were putting in place unconstitutional requirements. Because nowhere in the Constitution or the law does it say anything about anybody waiting for 3 years. That was something arbitrary introduced by the Labour government. And now that it is being challenged, we have to respond by abiding by the Constitution. So it is emotional, I understand, but sometimes I think that these things need not be when we understand what is at stake and what it is we're seeking to do. Okay? Do we have any other person holding? Let's go straight back to the phones.
Good evening, Premier.
Good evening to you.
Why, you nearly make me tired.
Yes.
Anyway, it's Blindness Awareness Month this May. It's almost finished, and I hope persons out there have been paying attention to their sight. On Friday, it's Blindness Awareness Day. Do something nice for somebody in the family who is blind or very impaired. Whether it's visiting them, reading their mails, taking them to town, whatever it is, even breakfast in bed, whatever it takes, look out for them, especially for that day. I want to say thanks to the general public for supporting the Nevis Blind, Light and Visually Impaired Society lunch. It went very well, Premier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very pleased, you know, because it was just like, I would say, like old times, and people started coming long before 11 o'clock. And so we were able to sell out our lunch.
People buying lunch before 11 o'clock?
Yeah, people come early.
Mm-hmm.
I was, you know, the person usually come, say 11, a little after 11. But by 2011, some people leave their monies and they went and they came back and so on. And we are grateful for the help that persons gave us, whether it's the hotels, the restaurants, whoever helped to prepare food. Because we prepare a lot of food at the building, but some come also from the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to say special thanks for that. Persons who donated meat and fish, chicken, whatever it was, vegetables, can't call names because that would one mean problem, and that is not good. Because when you don't say something to a person before you can mention their name, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very glad for that. Concerning our scholarship, we will start to give out our checks, like, say, the first week in August, God willing, just after Culturama. We want to make sure that the monies go toward the children. Have a good evening, Premier, and thanks for giving me the time.
Thank you very
Bye.
much, and God bless you and continue your good work. Very impressive. This lady she's a juggernaut. Very, very, very impressive. And so that is what we're doing. Now, I just got a note here that, of course, the good people at the EPPS, the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, right there in the Coal Hill area, they are asking one and all to come out and support their fair. Come one, come all, Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School presents its May Fair Carnival Extravaganza. Come and enjoy an afternoon of fun and games with lots to eat and drink. Hot dogs, they have balloons, they say. They have various games. They have life-size Ludo. They have eating contest, it looks like. They have face painting. They have a sweet corner, goat water cook-up. Well, I definitely have to go and get some cook-up. It's going to be Thursday the 30th of May, and it's going to be at the school grounds. The time is at 11 a.m. So I must remember to go and be a part of that. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. at the EPPS, they're having their fun day, and they're asking everybody to come out. It's going to be a wonderful fair, and they have life-size Ludo and lots of games, lots to eat and drink. If the cook-up has pork in it, please leave some for me because it can't be cook-up without pork. If you have cook-up with no pork, they say that's rice and chicken. So I want to make that very clear, that cook-up without pork is just rice and chicken. Don't call it cook-up unless you have pork in it. And I will come there tomorrow, God willing, and see you, the good people at the EPPS. So one and all are invited to go out to the EPPS tomorrow, Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, right there at the flats in Coal Hill, and to be a part of their fun day, their fair that they have tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. And we look forward to seeing you there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is On the Mark. I'm your host, Mark Brantley, and we have about 20 minutes or so left in the show. At 10 o'clock, of course, it means we have to go. If you just tuned in, then you'll tune into the VON Radio, the voice of Nevis, www.vonradio.com, 860 on your AM dial. And so, we're taking your calls. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Hi. Good night.
Yes, you're on the mark. Go ahead.
Oh, Mark.
Yes.
Good night, sir.
Hello?
Yes, good night.
Good night, you're on the air.
Yeah, you're referring to somebody 2 callers ago about senior.
Yes.
Mr. Randy, ministers don't lose the seat not by their performance, by who they are working with. They might call your office, your boss, the office 3 times yesterday. And that the last time, a gentleman tell me the secretary not in. When 2 times before that, he tell me she stepped out. So the last time I had to ask him, you couldn't tell me that from the very first time I was going to call me like a puppy shot? He kept telling me she stepped out on 2 occasions. Because I say, if she really stepped out or she's not in today, then you say she's not in today. So what is that?
So he couldn't tell you she's not in today from the start?
Hello?
So he didn't tell you she's not in from the start?
He didn't tell me that. That's according to call 3 times. On 2 occasions, he told me she stepped out. Twice I called in the morning. Last time I called was in the afternoon. That's when I said, she really stepped out and she's not in today. He said, no, she's not in today. I said, well, you could have told me that rather than me calling like a puppy show.
Yeah, well, what can I do? I apologize for that. Clearly, as you said, at the end of the day, the ministers get blamed for everything, but clearly we're not answering the phone, and people are there, and I keep saying that those who are hired to do a job must do their job, and they must do their work professionally, and that is why I have, since I become Premier, continued to encourage the civil servants, particularly those here in the island of Nevis, to do their jobs professionally, to be at work on time, to not abuse the government resources, to stay off social media during the workday, and those kinds of things, to not abuse the government vehicles. And by the way, since I'm on it, I will tell you, I realize that people are starting to do it again. And so I'm asking people, please, not to abuse the government vehicles. It's not your vehicle. Park it up when your job is finished in the afternoon. I know I've been talking, and people say, oh, you're just talking because you're not doing anything. I like to give people enough rope. Enough rope. And I'm asking people to do the right thing. Park up the government vehicles in the afternoon when you're finished working. And stop abusing the resources. Let us all work together, but let us recognize that we have to be responsible in what we do. And I continue to ask and appeal. Some may say I'm not going to do anything, I'm only talking. It means that they don't really know me. I like to give people the room because I like to see the good in everybody. So I'm encouraging our people. So, Carl, I apologize for what happened to you. I hope it is not symptomatic of our civil service, and I use the opportunity to continue to encourage our public servants to do the right thing.
Mr. Benji, I'm going to call the office again tomorrow.
Okay, well, I hope this time you get through. Okay. All right? And if you can't get through, call me, 662-6003. But next time you're on your call,
I have the number somewhere.
When you call, ask who you're talking to. Ask to whom are you speaking.
Oh, okay.
You understand? That would be helpful. Thank you very much. Good. It is now about 18 minutes to. We're taking your calls. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Come up, and after the walk, we had a heated moment with him also. While I'm here, I would like to say a special thank you to Jillian Tyson over Brown Hill, who came out and assisted me in selling T-shirts by the Bank of Nevis on Friday. I would like to thank her very well, and thanks to everyone who gave continuously, and we're looking forward for their continuous support. And Mr. Brantley, I had missed you, but never mind, I understand your situation. And I wish you all the best with your family with the graduation.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, good news gets around fast and people listen to the show. So congratulations, Florine, to you and the Renal Society. I always commend the excellent work that you do, and you always call and use the show to advertise, and so we welcome that. And I continue to encourage you. I really regret I couldn't be there for you. I actually got my T-shirt, but I couldn't make it because I was away, so please forgive me. But my support continues. I've got another note because the EPPS is having their fun day and fair tomorrow, starting at 11. And the Charleston Primary School is also having its fair tomorrow as well. And that will be at tomorrow at the school grounds. Let's see, when does it start? Not sure. 11 a.m. Yes, it starts at 11. What they say, lots to eat and drink. Pizza, calzone, I believe that's an Italian food. Goat water, Johnny cake, saltfish, grilled chicken, and they say read more. No. Charleston Primary, I love you. Boy, the whole flyer they send me here in orange. I don't know what they have this fascination with orange at Charleston Primary. But I love you, but I'm now having to decide whether it's EPPS or Charleston Primary. And now the thing that has me, because EPPS has cook-up with pork. They have confirmed that. Charleston Primary is offering saltfish, grilled chicken, pizza, Johnny cake. That's a toss-up. But cook-up is always going to win. So Charleston Primary, we encourage you one and all to go out to the Charleston Primary School as well. We hope the whole of town would support. They have their wonderful fair tomorrow starting at 11. And they, of course, are champions, athletic champions, academic champions now. They're doing very well at school. I want to congratulate, of course, the principal and the staff there for their successes. And they have their fair tomorrow starting at 11. And EPPS, the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, right there in the heart of Coal Hill, they have their fair tomorrow starting at 11 as well. So we're encouraging people to go out and support both. Maybe Charleston Primary, I go and get my cook-up and then I come and get some saltfish. Who knows? We'll have to see how it goes. Let's go back to the phones, take some more calls. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Brantley.
Yes.
Want to use your lawyer thing on this one. You remember before independence, we were British. We used to use the British passport. Now that we went into independence, we use think it's Nevis passport. But tell me then, tell me how we stand with that if we are not still British.
No, you're not still British because when you became independent in 1983, you put away those things. They say when you were a child, you spoke as a child, you understood as a child. When you became a man, you put away childish things. That was a point in time when we were not independent. We remained still a colony, or as they call us, an associated state. Once we became independent, we got our own flag, our own national anthem, our own identity, our own passport. And so we are no longer British. We are Kittitians and Nevisians.
Who had the long-time British passport?
Yes, but I'm saying that we are Kittitians and Nevisians. I believe that there was an opportunity prior to independence, and I think that there was an opportunity perhaps that one could elect. I'm not so sure. I don't have the information in front of me. But I think that you could have become a British citizen up to the point of our independence. Post-independence, you don't have that right. You are Kittitian and Nevisian. That is why people say from Anguilla can still become, or Montserrat can still become, but we can't because we are now citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. We're not British citizens.
Thank you.
All right? Okay. We have about 14 minutes left, and we are taking your calls. Again, just to remind the general public that both the Charleston Primary School and the EPPS, the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, are having their fairs tomorrow starting at 11 a.m., and they have lots to eat and drink, lots of fun, lots of games. Spencer Brand, if you're listening, you have to go down to the Charleston Primary School because you are the man who come in the cabinet wearing all orange sometimes to try and show that you're with the winning school, so you have to go and support, and I certainly hope that I can come as well. We'll see. Tomorrow I have my monthly press conference. It starts at 10 a.m., and we are inviting all the press and, of course, the members of the public to tune in. We will try to provide an update as to what has been happening in the various ministries, and I'll have an opportunity to interact with the members of the press and to answer whatever questions they might have And so we continue to do that as part and parcel of our new effort to interact. I should also indicate that this, of course, is something that I committed to. We have kept those commitments. When we campaigned leading up to the election in 2017, we said a few things. One, that we'll introduce this monthly press conference, and we've kept that. Two, that we'll ensure that the House of Assembly meets at least once every 2 months and more often as necessary, and we have maintained that. And I'm very proud of that record thus far, because these were avenues and institutions that had almost fallen into disuse for a variety of reasons. And we're trying now to ensure that all the engines that make the country run, make the island run, that they are serviced and serviceable, that they are working, and that we are doing what we need to do to ensure that the island of Nevis moves forward in a very positive way. Tomorrow gives me an opportunity in front of members of the press to give an update as the Premier of Nevis. It is an opportunity that I cherish. It is one certainly that I will continue to try to fulfill, and it gives an opportunity for members of the press. Some seem to quite enjoy the interaction and the engagement, and I too, I confess that I quite enjoy the interaction and the engagement with members of the press. And so we're asking again the public, those at home and those abroad, to listen in as I report. Again, the Prime Minister would have done his press conference today, and I'm told that that went very well, and I will do mine tomorrow, and to inform the people of Nevis and the wider St. Kitts and Nevis what has been happening on the island of Nevis. So we'll continue in that vein and continue to do the best that we can to get information out and to be a part of this process of democracy, this process of engagement, which is so important as we speak to our people and we speak with our people and we listen to them and we try to provide answers. Let's go back to the phones. It's 10 minutes to the hour. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Premier Brackley, good night.
Good night to you.
I just want to let you know by way of notice too, the Joycelyn Library Primary School will also be having their fair tomorrow same time.
So everybody having fair at the same time?
So, it seems so.
Well, I'm calling on Eric Evelyn to come to your fair. How's that?
That would be wonderful.
But that's my alma mater as well, because I started out my school there.
Well, it's mine as well.
So I'm going to have some difficulty. You know what's on the menu?
I don't know the menu. I just know it starts at 11 o'clock as well.
11 o'clock. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. So
You're
tomorrow
welcome.
seems to be fair day, because you have the Joycelyn Library Primary now is having their fair at 11. You have the EPPS, Joycelyn Library Primary School right there in Gingerland is having theirs. Then you have the EPPS in Coal Hill is having theirs. And you have the Charleston Primary right there in town is having theirs as well. So 3 primary schools are having their fairs tomorrow, starting at 11. All promise to be good fun. And so we're asking you to go out and be a part of it. I am now running myself into difficulty because I thought I could only go up to EPPS and that'll be fine. But I'm now here in Charlestown and I like to be around them because they have a lot of spunk, a lot of energy. And I'm now here in Joycelyn Library where I started out my school life. So I'm having again now to decide what I'm going to do tomorrow. But we'll see how that goes. I have my press conference at 10. And so I've just asked the principal at EPPS to make sure I have some cook up there with lots of pork in it for me. So we'll try and work on that. And then the saltfish and Johnny cakes at Charleston Primary sounds appealing as well. Not so sure what's happening up Gingerland yet, but Gingerland people is always good people, good cooks. So we'll see what's going on up there. Fine, let's go back to the phones. We don't have anybody. We have a couple of minutes left. If you want to be a part of this show, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. Just to remind again that tomorrow at 11 o'clock, the Joycelyn Library Primary School, the EPPS, the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, and the Charleston Primary School are all having their fair. And they're asking one and all to come out and to support them. I think that's very important, a very important initiative. Let's go out and support them. And just again, to alert the members of the public that we are having a week of activities speaking to the life and times of the Honorable Malcolm Gishard, who passed away on the 11th of June 2007. And the community has put this together, and they're having on Sunday the 9th of June a church service at the St. John's Anglican Church at 7 a.m. That same Sunday we have a basketball at the Church Ground Hard Court And the special attraction will be me in my basketball shoes trying to score a basket or two. If you come, I used to have a good hook shot. Come and see it. Tuesday, 11th of June, we have Morning Inspiration on Vaughan Radio at 6 a.m. The same 11th of June, we have a service at the cemetery at 9:30 a.m. at Malcolm's gravesite. And then on Wednesday, the 12th of June, we have a special edition of this show, On the Mark. We are calling in with anecdotes about the Honorable Malcolm Guichard. We are asking people who knew him to call in, share their views, share their memories of him, and we hope that Vaughan Radio will go to the archives and pull out a speech or two. Thursday, the 13th of June, we have a health talk. We're talking about NCDs. Thursday, the same Thursday, we have the unveiling of the portrait of Malcolm at the top of church ground. Sunday, we have church ground cleanup starting at 6 a.m. And Sunday, the 15th of June, same Sunday, we have Fun Day and Togetherness, 6 p.m. at the Hard Court again. And this time, I'm going to hope that they give me a chance to go on the grill and grill some chicken. Let's go back to the phones. We have somebody holding. Good evening. You're on the mark. Hello?
Good night.
Yes, good evening.
Good night. Yeah, I have to call to congratulate you on your graduation for your two daughters.
Thank you very much.
I know how you feel. I feel the same with mine, with my children them too.
Wonderful.
Anyway, you road in Brown Hill.
Yes.
I'm from Brown Hill. I don't know why. The road in Brown Hill is an excellent piece of road, and it is well done. The walls, like I mentioned, they are pretty. They are very, very, very nice, and they look good. Thirdly, the bridge. I don't think you should break the bridge down. What I think you should do is to build a road next to the bridge, and maybe the eastern side of the bridge, and leave the part there. Because that's what I meant. When we met for years.
Yeah, there's no intent to break it down, caller. In fact, the public works were kind enough that they came and they had a town hall meeting in Brown Hill. That's what we do now before they started the road. And they explained that what they're doing is they're going to build a second bridge. So they're not breaking down that one at all. So there will be a bridge that is built, let me see now to get my directions correct, I believe to the east of that one. And that will be the new bridge. So this one will remain. I think people may be able to use it for pedestrian purposes.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm telling you, I'm in them cast, I'm the cast. I'm going here.
Yeah. Cass, how you do? You good?
Yeah, let me listen to you.
All right.
I was trying to call you earlier, but I didn't get you.
Okay.
Doing all right, doing all right.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, you could be good work, man. And keep on doing what you're doing. We're doing an excellent job for the whole island of Nevis. And don't care what nobody say. You know yourself, and you do what you can do. You can do more than what you could do.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it very much. Okay? Okay, God bless. Let's continue to take some calls. We have another caller. No? Okay. It's 5 minutes to. Yes, let's go back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Hey, I want to say.
Okay. Caller, we're sorry we lost you. It is 5 minutes to the hour of 10 o'clock. Numbers to call if you want to be a part of the show, 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. Let's go right back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Premier.
Yes, good evening, brother.
How are you doing?
I good, man. I good. You hear the Calypso tonight?
Yeah, sounding good.
Yeah, all right.
All of them sound good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to big up your daughter as well, too, and congratulate you as well.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I like the one boy Jojo. The two of them boy Jojo.
Mm.
I like this and that too. I like all of them.
Yeah, I think the one that's very witty about the police.
Man, that's a wonderful song. I like to hear when people come with new ideas. New theme and new ideas. Very nice. You know, people who all like me and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have something special for us this year.
Mm.
Who want to jam to a nice, slow and sweet thing. I have something special.
Mm.
So just listen out. Maybe next week I will come in by you.
Maybe next week? Okay. Well, we look forward to it.
Yeah, all right then.
Okay.
Have a good one.
All right, brother. God bless. All right. We have about 4 minutes or so left on my clock here. So I think we have time to take another call or two. 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. So we encourage you one and all to go out to the fairs tomorrow for Gingerland, Joyce and Liebert Primary, for the EPPS Elizabeth Pemberton Primary, and for the Charleston Primary School. They're having their school fair starting at 11. And so we hope that all the former students will go and the people in the neighborhood will go. And I'm asking Eric Evelyn, if you're listening, Minister, Joycelyn Liber needs you tomorrow. Spencer Brand, Charleston Primary needs you tomorrow. And EPPS, I've committed to come. And Troy Liber, if you're hearing me, at EPPS, I'm sure you can make it. It's just across the road from you to go and have some time there with them as well. So we promise to be there and to see what we can do to be a part of the celebrations tomorrow. Very good to mingle and mix. The teachers do a wonderful job. The students, I know, have done their best. Their exams are now over. And, of course, this is now time for the results to come in a month or so, and we will see where that goes. So congratulations to all. This is always a difficult time. In fact, I have a tree in my yard. They call it the exam tree because they say it only blooms when it's exam time. And I know that, as I said, my children have just gone through their own final exam. So I know it's a testing time for parents, for children alike. And so hopefully this summer they'll be allowed to breathe and to allow to have a little bit of respite, bearing in mind that, of course, they would have just had their exam. So we are grateful for that, and we're grateful to all the teachers who continue to do a lot of work, yeoman service. They really are the backbones of our society. And if we're going to build a better Nevis, we need our education system to be the best that it can be. The music is striking up. It means that my time is up and I have to go. I want to thank all who called, all who were here with me. I want to thank Mighty Jojo and King This and That for their dedication to our culture and our Culturama, and the dedication to the art form of Kaiso. I believe they have some good songs. It's going to be a ding-dong bacchanal for this year Culturama. We just heard the man Giro say he coming with something as well. So I think everybody's out, and it's going to be interesting. The horse is out of the gate, and we're going to see where it goes. We've had the grand reveal. We've seen the beautiful young women. We've seen the handsome young gentlemen, all of whom will be part and parcel of Culturama 45. We look forward to it. We look forward to the homecoming celebration, and we thank everyone for being a part of this beautiful, beautiful experiment called Nevis. It is a wonderful place to be. Thank you, good night, and God bless you. This show is rebroadcast tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here on Von Radio. That's